Alright, so here is mini episode 2. I'm going to read a second book that was found at the Martinsburg, Berkeley County Public Library in West Virginia. This one is A Church for All. And just to prove that it's from that library, there's the sticker on the back. You can see it clearly enough. And I think I forgot to prove that with the pronoun book on the last mini episode, but there's the sticker on the back of that one too. Okay, here we go. This is A Church for All by Gail E. Pittman. Apparently she's a PhD in psychology, and illustrated by Lori Fournier. Now, right from the start on the cover, you see "Come as you are," peace and love on the signs there. Of course, you see the typical pride rainbow flags. Before I even open to the first page, for those of you who don't already know this, the pride flag differs from the actual rainbow, the rainbow that God created, in that it only has 6 colors. It's incomplete. It's an incomplete rainbow. So when you see rainbow pride flags, if you pay attention, you'll be able to differentiate that between actual rainbows when you just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, only 6 colors. Okay? Specifically the pride flag. All right, first page. Sunday waking. And right from the start, you obviously see that we are hinting at a homosexual couple. We've got 2 men here in the household. One's cooking, one's enjoying breakfast with the 2 girls. And if you can't tell, the 2 girls are black. The one dad is black. The one is white. We know for a fact that these 2 guys did not produce these 2 girls because men can't reproduce together. Could possibly be biologically his, and he's keeping these poor girls from their mother by living with another man. Anyways, day is breaking. Now, of course, we've got 2 young ladies holding hands going down the steps. They're just obviously insinuating that it's a lesbian couple, because that's the point of the book. Let's go to our church for all. Nothing really too insidious to point out in those 2 pages. Church bells ringing. Just people greeting. Your typical average church entrance. Honestly, I mean, people are just heading to church. Joyful noises. Now here's where you start to see some more noticeable things, besides, of course, the pride flag prominent outside the church. You got a man pushing a kid in a wheelchair there, which, if you notice, these LGBTQ etc books are almost always making some sort of reference to disabled people. They always emphasize as many races as possible, it seems like. Because, again, like I mentioned in the last video, they try to make it seem like people who are not affirming of these lifestyles are also racist. They're exclusive of people who are different, who are differently abled, who are disabled and whatnot, and not welcoming of them as well. Because what they want you to think is that because Christian conservatives are not affirming of the LGBTQ etc lifestyles, they are also exclusive of people who are disabled, and they look down upon them, etc. But here you also see what looks like what you would call a butch woman. I'm assuming that's supposed to be a woman, because she's later on in the book, you'll see her. She's short of stature, kind of wide in the hips there, but she's got a big chest, suggesting that she's a bosomed woman. There's the gay couple in the beginning. Choir singing. Now, like I said, I mean they're sure to reference lots of different races. They've got what looks like a Native American guy here. He's got a ponytail with front of his head shaved. Got some tattooed people popping up here. Laughing voices. Here's that guy pushing in that kid with the wheelchair. You'll see him a little more close up later on. Got the chick with the mohawk. Candles glowing. Banners flowing. Now, what kind of banners are we talking about? Well, we got one that says open and affirming. Ah, I see. So this church is open and affirming. Open and affirming to what exactly? Well, of course, they are talking about their affirming to the LGBTQ etc lifestyles, which, as Christian conservatives know, that especially, I mean, as Christians know, that is a sin in the eyes of God. So, for those of us who have a couple brain cells to rub together, who can logic a little bit and have read the scriptures, we know that this is not a church that is blessed by God. All means all. So here's another banner. So this is one of those slogans that they like to use, which is similar to "Love is love." It's a circular meaning. It's got a circular meaning. So when you're trying to define a word, you're not supposed to use that word in the definition of itself. So all means all. What does that mean? What does all mean all? Of course, all means all. Does all mean Nazis? Are Nazis welcome in this open and affirming church? Are Christian conservatives welcome to this church? Would Paul the Apostle be welcomed in this church, who spoke out against uh, effeminate men, and who spoke out in one of his letters against uh, men leaving the natural use of a woman and burned in their lust one toward another? All means all. What about other people who are way out there? Does all mean men who are attracted to minor boys? Or like the NAMBLA group, North American Man Boy Love Association? Or what about the female version, women who are attracted to little girls? Are they welcome? Women who want to have an open and free relationship with 12-year-old girls, 6-year-old girls, are they invited to your church? Does all really mean all? Something tells me it doesn't. What about the people who are into bestiality? Are they included? Are they invited to come to this church? Something tells me that's a no-no, even to these people. See, they have lines that they draw too. When they say all means all, what they really mean is only people who agree with what they are teaching. Only people who are affirming to these types of lifestyles and doctrines. Let's see. Next page. Come enter our church for all. God's doors are open to all. Now, okay, let me backtrack just a second. God's doors are definitely open to all, okay? I want to make that point very clear. I don't care what your background is. I don't care what your nationality is. I don't care if you used to be a stripper. I don't care if you used to be an actual Nazi. I don't care if you used to be a thug in the streets, dealing drugs and shooting up your neighborhood. I don't care. You're welcome to come to church. God welcomes you, and He invites you to come. But the point of coming to God, the point of corporate worship is to learn to be holy as God is holy. All right, next page. Weary and healthy. Now, got some tired looking people, healthier looking people. There's the boy in the wheelchair. The man pushing him, it's got like a mostly shaved head, but like curly cues going on the front. He kind of looks sissified, honestly, when you look at him. And you've got a dad holding a baby, neat and messy. As you'll see, there's a pattern of a few dads holding and dealing with babies in this book, which to me, that just seems like they're trying to send the message that dads can take care of babies too, not just moms. It's not just the mom's responsibility, which, folks, that's common sense. I've been to lots of different churches, different doctrine churches, like non-denominational, apostolic, Pentecostal, Baptist, um, and I've never once seen or heard people actually look down on people who look different, sound different. Uh, I mean, they're just making an overall point that only their churches are open to these races and nationalities and creeds and whatnot. Poor and wealthy. Plain and dressy. Here's where you can see a few unique looking things. Got the rainbow looking mohawk here with a nose ring. Pretty sure this is supposed to be a man. Got like a stocky frame and wide jawline. But of course, he probably identifies as a woman. Got what looks like a woman with short hair back here because you got looks like breasts with short hair. There's another tattooed lady. Again, they emphasize this stuff because they're trying to make it seem like only their type of church allows people who have tattoos, which is incorrect. Let's see. All embracing, spirit gracing. Not sure what spirit they are referring to. It's definitely not the Holy Spirit. Each one at our church for all. All are welcome. That is true. That is actually true. All are welcome. Come as you are. That is true. Love, peace, joy, all of this, that's true. These are actual messages, but what's insidious is that it's mixed in with open and affirming. It's mixed in with God's doors are open to all when it's talking about it, it's affirming things that God does not affirm. Each one at our church for all. Sorry, I might be getting a little redundant, a little bit tired. Bodies wiggling, mommy's reading, children giggling, daddy's pleading. As you can see, like I said, there's the daddies dealing with the kids. This is already normal. At churches I grew up in, I've seen plenty of dads dealing with the kids. It's not always the moms. So I don't know what they have in mind when they're insisting on constantly putting that in the books. Toddlers flailing, babies wailing. There's room at our church for all. Hands receiving, hands connecting. There's this sissy looking guy I was talking about. I mean, mainly I'm talking about the hair there, of course. Hearts believing. Believing what? What exactly are they believing? What are they being taught? Hearts accepting. What or who are they accepting? Are they accepting the truth? Are they accepting the whole counsel of God? I wish I could say they were at a church like this, but I have my doubts. Feel the Spirit. Now, I can assure you they're not feeling the Spirit of God. Whatever spirit they are feeling, it is not of God. And if you ever go to a church that is open and affirming, that has this kind of messaging, I suggest you run. Get your children, especially, as far away from this type of church as possible. Feel the Spirit. Can you hear it? Got to do the rhyme. Got a lumberjack looking dude playing the guitar there. They act like that's a big deal. Like it's like people are gonna get mad because he's not in a suit. There are plenty of churches that are like that, honestly, that are not open and affirming. It's here at our church for all. I think that's the last page. Now, of course, back here you've got the author's note. I thought about reading that. I read it myself, but feel free, if you get your hands on this book, to read it yourself. It's just the author's note from Gail E. Pittman talking about our inspiration for writing this. Just a few thoughts on this book. I've already spoken a good bit about like the fact that they're emphasizing that only their church is open and accepting of all nations and colors and creeds. But see, and on differently abled people, of course, the boy in the wheelchair, they are intentionally wanting wanting your children to think of LGBTQ etc. lifestyles as being something that you can't help, something that you're born with, which is a complete lie. They want you and your children to think that these are just the same as your skin color. You're born, you can't help your skin color. You can't help what height you end up being. You can't help if you end up with a disability. You can't help being born with a disability. You can't help an accident that just happens, a freak accident, and you become disabled. You can't help that. But they want you to mix all those things up with the LGBTQ etc. lifestyles, making it seem like, oh, they can't help the way they are. This is the way God made them. It's natural. They want you to think of these lifestyles as natural. If you want to lie to your children and pretend like LGBTQ etc. lifestyles are natural, read them this book. If you want your children to think that they can go to church and serve a fake Jesus who affirms things that God quite clearly condemns in the Old and New Testaments, read them this book. If you want to lie to your kids about that. If you want your kids to learn how to cherry pick from scriptures, read them this book. Most importantly, if you are going to read this book to your children, do it on your own time, do it on your own dime. These do not belong in public libraries paid for by taxpayers. People need to be buying these books with their own money to pervert their kids in private. If you're going to pervert your kids, you're going to lie to them, that's on you. That's between you and God. And when your kids grow up, if they see the truth, praise be to God for that, then it'll be between you and God, and between you and your kids. They have a problem with what you taught them. Once they discover that you've lied to them, especially if you put them on the conveyor belt of transgenderism, of thinking they can change their genders. Now, I did look up on Amazon, and it tells that the age range for this book is 3 to 8 years old. That's their suggestion on Amazon. I don't know if it's customer ratings or other authors, whatever. And then it says for grades preschool to third grade. That's their suggested age range. Anyways, don't bring this book near my kids.